Good evening on a Tuesday, November 11th, 2025. It is Veterans Day. Welcome to another edition of Tuesday Thumb Sportsline on WMIC AM 660, 95.3 FM, and streaming online at SaniLacBroadcasting.com. I am Eddie Feary, your true co-host, because the real co-host is right next to me. That's Mike Gallagher of the Tuscola County News. How you doing, man?
I'm good, Eddie. Happy Veterans Day, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Got to attend the ceremony earlier this afternoon at the Sanilac County Courthouse. They have all the flags up out there, and a good turnout for the veterans, or I guess you could say the memorial set up there in front of the Sanilac County Courthouse. So I saw your buddy, Mr. Levine, out there, too.
Yes, of course, yeah.
And there's a stream. We have a stream of that on our Sanilac Broadcasting Facebook Live, too, so you can check that out. But go ahead.
Well, for our listeners, Eddie, you were a member of the Marine Corps, correct?
Yeah, well, I started, I've been talking about it a little bit more. I did on the Morning Fury radio show, coming from Eckerman Cabin Airbnb, where I attended the Edmund Fitzgerald 50th Anniversary Memorial as well. So I saw a lot of vets up there in Whitefish Points.
Very nice.
Amazingly, after Saturday night or Saturday afternoon, after the Deckerville-Britton-Deerfield game, football game of coverage, I zipped on up to the Upper Peninsula, and I stuck to the mission that I figured that the rest of the TSA was probably not going to. But when you get a former military guy like me, and I have a mission,
you stick to the plan.
I stick to the plan and the mission.
Keeps you alive.
Yeah, so we pulled it off. I mean, I got there 11:30. It was a long day.
Yes.
Woke up the next morning, had a great time, and visited Paradise, and showed remnants about my time up there with my family as a kid. And then I brought my family up there. But we were up there. I got a book signing. You saw the book right there that I have.
Beautiful book, yes.
Yeah, great coffee table book.
Yep.
I bought one, and I did get a hold of the TSA. I didn't totally be snobby with you guys because nobody wanted to come up with me. Although you guys were kind of busy on Saturdays.
A little bit busy,
You just weren't as gun-ho as I was.
No, I love the Edmund Fitzgerald. I don't love being in a car for more than 15 hours, which, the drive to Britton-Deerfield, though, beautiful. That was fine.
Which would you go?
23.
Okay, that's the way I came up to meet up with my brother's pickup. Yeah. My wife brought him to the Saginaw or Frankenmuth Four Corners Exchange. Yeah. M46.
So I was far enough south that, there was no Michigan game on, but I was able to pick up the Eastern Michigan football game, listening to that on the way in. Okay, cool.
So I went through I-94. That was a pretty okay way, other than there was a 10-minute delay because of construction. But other than that, it was smooth sailing after that.
Well,
but I did a total round circle.
Yeah,
so it was kind of cool. So.
Once we got to Britton, that was a nice little town. It reminded me a lot of Martin when we went there a couple years ago. Yeah. Kind of just beautiful little area out in the middle of nowhere, and it was beautiful school, beautiful facilities, and well worth the drive because Deckerville won. So. Yeah,
it was. There was a lot of people I heard whispering, even from our own coverage area fans. I did not see that coming.
No.
Did not see that coming. We'll talk about that when we get to that point.
It's time to stop doubting Deckerville, Eddie.
Yeah. So, all right. So we have Deckerville moving on. Kingston moving on as well, as they got the big win over at K-Pac. They finally stopped the Giant Killer there. And then Ithaca, a Giant Killer themselves, came from behind to beat the Lakers of Elkton Pigeon Bayport. So they are no longer in the playoffs. It was a close one. We'll talk about that when we get to that point. Harbor Beach is still playing, as well as Millington, a defending state champion, who pretty much have their own identity with this team now, too.
Yes,
as well.
Absolutely.
So we're going to talk all about that. But we're going to touch on right now. Let's start with this.
Okay.
It's hockey season for high school hockey.
It's high school hockey season, yeah.
So we touched on it last week.
We got the first game tomorrow, right?
Yes, it's the Thumb Legion, Thumb Area Legion.
Thumb Area Legion, yep.
They do have a Facebook page, so check it out. Game day is November 12th. Of course, you're going to hear the replay of this, later on. They're at the Tri-Valley Thunder. That's on the road, Bay City, at the Bay County Civic Center. Tomorrow, 6:30 p.m., if you can make that nice, beautiful drive to Bay City. Although there's a lot of construction and something about the bridges out there.
Something about a toll.
Because, when I go to Mount Pleasant, I'm trying to find my way around. Is there another way around? I'm going to have to go out of my way to take M46.
I didn't even think about that.
Because there's a lot of construction on that road when you got to go through Bay City to get to Mount Pleasant.
So that's where we'll be going this Saturday for Deckerville. Yes,
for Deckerville, who's going up against Portland St. Patrick.
Yes.
Harbor Beach, they have a home game because they're in 11-player football.
Yep, they're not quite to the semifinals yet, yes.
So I do believe Millington, are they playing home too? Or?
Good question.
Yeah, we'll have to look that up.
Scotty B about that. He'll be calling in later.
So Thumb Area Legion Hockey, they're pretty much they got some decent returners coming back now.
I would say so, yes.
We talked about it last week. First game at Tri-Valley Thunder, and you can follow them on Facebook. We'll keep bringing them up as we go through the basketball season. We are going to take some time off after football season.
Maybe a little bit. It depends on how late, these football teams are going to be playing. Because last year we had football all the way up until basketball season.
Yeah.
The first week of basketball practice was the week after Deckerville had won the state title, I believe.
It's crazy. Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll take some time to ourselves, but not too much time.
Yeah. Well,
I'll miss you.
I know in December, you know where I'm going. Do you know where I'm going?
Probably south, right?
I'm going to Florida. My wife is dragging me down there.
You jerk.
I might go to Nashville and see an old friend.
She's dragging you to Florida. Okay. Yeah.
So, that's going to probably happen. Yeah.
Good.
All right. So we got all those teams to talk about, the recaps of that, and then a little bit of mini preview on Portland St. Patrick and Deckerville as well.
Well, I'm looking forward to your Almont update as well.
Yes.
Because Almont picked up a huge win.
They got a big one over Marine City.
Yeah.
Huge win. So the Almont Raiders in the Blue Water Area Conference representing, still surviving in the playoffs as well. So we got some great coverage area teams still in action. This is the regional championship games they're playing. Deckerville won their regional championship last week. Kingston won their can't forget about Kingston. They won their regional championship game. I'm waiting for my game ball.
Did.
I'm waiting for my game ball. All right. So there we go. We got that. But Thumb Area Legion Hockey, couple players you mentioned last week.
I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to, they're a great offensive team. Last year, obviously, they were working on replacing Lauren Eager at the goaltending position.
Yeah.
And they tried a couple of different players in there. I expect those goaltenders to take a huge leap this season. And I think the offense is going to be fine. The offense was fine as it was last year. But I'm expecting them to have a pretty big season, and I'm looking forward to watching them.
So that begins tomorrow.
Not tomorrow, but I look forward to watching them.
Yeah, that'll be tomorrow, Wednesday. Is their schedule? Follow their schedule. They have posted their whole schedule too for this season on their Facebook page. You can check that out.
And their home opener will be next Wednesday.
Right, Wednesday, November 19th.
Yes.
At home against Grand Blanc. That will be 7 p.m. at the Colleen Howe Arena. That's located at the Sandusky 4-H Fairgrounds, so check that out. The first couple of games, though, are away. They're going to be away at Tri-Valley Thunder, Bay County Civics Arena. And then Sunday, they're taking on Lenawee United, 4 p.m., at least it's early enough they can come driving back and listen to the Lions game on the way back home.
Oh, good,
so
yeah.
That'll be at the Arrington Ice Arena. And then their first home game, they'll have back-to-back home games. Wednesday, November 19th, as you mentioned earlier, against Grand Blanc, and then the Mid-Michigan Raptors on Saturday. So check that out. And then they have that Larry Mann's tournament.
That's actually a lot of fun as well because they play that at the McMorran Arena.
Very cool.
I went down to that last year. That was just very fun.
I won't be surprised if any of these kids want to play any type of minor league hockey, that there'll be some Port Huron Prowlers, and if any player doesn't move on to college or wants to keep playing, the Prowlers are there. They're going to be scouting.
The Prowlers are a lot of fun, man.
They are. My daughter's a huge fan. She knows practically all the players personally.
They're awesome, yeah.
All right, good luck to Thumb Area Legion Hockey. We're looking forward to talk about the updates on your game and recaps come next week. And then after our winter break, we'll come back and, mention them more
really
as
get
we go
into
through
it.
the season.
Yeah.
All right, when we come back, we'll take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to mention high school girls volleyball.
Yes.
They are in the regional playoffs right now. We got some coverage area teams in that. Right here on Thumb Sportsline on WMIC AM 660, or basically right now, it's nighttime, 95.3 FM. Streaming online at SanilacBroadcasting.com. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Thumb Sportsline, WMIC 95.3 FM and streaming online at SanilacBroadcasting.com. We already have our game of the week picked out. It's our lone coverage area team in high school football. The Deckerville Eagles are going to be playing at Portland St. Patrick. This is going to be at a neutral site. It'll be at Mount Pleasant High School. I've been there before. I think I've been pretty much every state semifinal location, but it's at a neutral site this year. Okay, so we'll get into that when we get to that point. Well, let's talk about high school girls volleyball. The regional semifinals are continuing tonight. Some teams made it into the next round from winning district championships, where we're on Thursday and Friday last week.
Which worked out perfectly for myself.
Yes, because you...
Because we had 2 district champions from Sanilac County, and they were on 2 different nights.
Yeah.
I didn't even have to make a decision.
So
thank you, MHSAA.
You were quite busy, though. So,
well, but that's okay.
All right, so in Division 2, District 60, it was North Branch Broncos defeating Emily City 3-0 to move on.
Yeah, the surprise of the year, Eddie. The North Branch Broncos won the district title. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Division 3, District 91 at Memphis High School. The Brown City Green Devil ladies over Marlette Red Raiders 3-0.
Yes, and I was on hand for that one. That was a fantastic district, Eddie. So it was the 3rd straight district title for the Brown City Green Devils. During that 3-year stretch, they have not dropped a single set. So Coach Jenna Welke always has this team, whether they're great during the regular season, whether they're not doing so great during the regular season, she has them ready to play when it comes to the postseason. And this season was one of those years where they played well during the regular season, but we've talked about it on the show before. They had to replace some really talented seniors in Ava Barnes and Ashley Bender, at 2 key positions, at setter and libero. And so it wasn't exactly a poor regular season. I mean, they still finished 2nd in their conference, but she described it as a roller coaster of a season. Lots of lows, lots of highs, but they were playing their best volleyball at the end of the season, which is all that matters. They defeated K-Pac in 3 sets, which, kind of expected. But Marlette is a good volleyball team. And Brown City, during the regular season, they had played Marlette twice in conference play and then once in tournament play. They went 3-0 against them. But, as you know, Eddie, Marlette's a good team, and you're not going to overlook them in a district final. And it was a great match. The second set, Marlette got out to an 8-1 lead. Coach Welke calls a timeout, and I asked her about it. What did you talk about during that timeout? And she said, when you're at this point in the season, you're going to be put in uncomfortable positions, and that's an uncomfortable position. And what matters is how you respond to it, and they responded to it. Sydney Mabey and Anna Lyons both took over that match. They were both extremely impressive. Sydney Mabey had, I believe, 16 or 17 kills in 3 sets. Anna Lyons had 5 blocks, which is a huge number, and she was kind of the emotional leader for Brown City. So they'll take on Rochester Hills Lutheran Northwest tonight. That is the team they have lost to the past 2 seasons in kind of heartbreaking fashion last season. But, this is a good Brown City team, Eddie, and they're playing good volleyball. So
that the other semifinal, Division 3 Volleyball Regional 23 at Millington High School tonight is the Cass City Red Hawk girls, who are taking on Lakeville in the later game. That'll be at 7 o'clock. The Brown City game today, Tuesday, November 11th, is 5:30 p.m. And Cass City defeated Bad Axe, and it took 5 whole sets to get to that. It was quite of a barn burner there. Yeah. That was Thursday night.
Well, and similar to the Brown City district where, it was Brown City, K-Pac, Memphis, Sandusky, Marlette, all teams that have played each other multiple times throughout the season. And you could say the same thing about the Cass City district, where it was Cass City, Lakers, Harbor Beach, all those teams that have seen each other multiple times. And so you know what to expect, and you know what you're going to get from the other team. But I do expect Cass City to take care of Lakeville tonight, and then Brown City, Cass City for a regional final. That'd be pretty cool, Eddie.
Yeah.
But I'm not getting ahead of myself.
Cass City defeats Bad Axe 25-23.
Okay.
17-25.
So a loss.
25-15. 19-25. 15-11. The last one does not go to 25.
Wow.
It's always to 15.
Right.
So that was the Cass City's 5th consecutive district championship for them to get to this point. So congratulations to the whole team there. And that's Division III, and they could end up meeting up, depending what Brown City does against Rochester Hills, Lutheran Northwest today at Millington High School. So check that out. By the way, we mentioned North Branch up against Pontiac Notre Dame Prep, 7 p.m. today, Tuesday. The other semifinal has Marysville up against Detroit Country Day. And that volleyball Regional 15 at Yale High School. On district championship, also in Division 3, it was Reese defeating Chesaning. District 95 at New Lothrop High School. Reese will go up against Bath in the Regional 24 semifinal at Montrose High School today at 5:30 p.m.
Okay, so I got nothing for you there.
Yeah, the Reese Rockets have had some success in the past.
Yeah. Well, they were in a very tough conference this season, too.
Yeah.
I mean, they played Cass City, they played Lakers, Bad Axe, Millington, and everybody kind of just they beat each other up in that conference, the Big Thumb Conference White Division, and Cass City was able to make it out on top. But there's some good teams in there still. So,
all right, and in Division 4, District 127 at Mayville High School, the Deckerville Eagle girls defeat Kingston 3-0. Deckerville backs up their Blue Division Big Thumb Conference League title, taking down Kingston 3-0 to win the district championship. Now they move on to the Regional 32 semifinal against Chesterfield Austin Catholic today, Tuesday. That's the early game. The second game has the Ubly Bearcat girls, who have a fantastic season. Mm-hmm. Had a good schedule, too.
Yep.
They defeated Owen Gage, who was pretty good in the Red Division.
Yeah.
Ubly was a Big Thumb Conference. And the Black Division, to win that league title, they defeat Owen Gage in the district championship game at Owen Gage High School. That's the District 128, 3-0. Ubly will host Genesee Christian at the Regional 32 semifinal today, Tuesday, in the later game. But congrats to Deckerville.
Oh, just a fantastic season for Deckerville. I think they probably come away with a win tonight, and we might get a Ubly Deckerville a regional final for the second straight year. But this year's district title was a little bit different for Deckerville. Last season, they came in, they kind of flew under the radar. They were decent during the regular season, but Coach Heilig had them playing their best volleyball at the end of the season. And in the first round, they had to defeat Peck. And Peck last season was the Big Thumb Conference Blue Division champions. And then Deckerville had to beat Marlette. And I think they were considered the underdog in both of those matchups, at least on paper. This season, coming into the district, Deckerville was the heavy favorite. And I talked to Coach Heilig about it, and she said, honestly, I didn't really like it. You have everything to lose coming into the district, as opposed to, last season where, you're the underdog and you can kind of play spoiler all the way through the district. But this season, there was added pressure, but they handled it extremely well. And I think the most impressive thing was they beat Peck in 3 sets, and I asked Coach Heilig about it, and she said, I don't think we played our best volleyball in that match. And she said she kind of got after the girls a little bit because, Kingston's a good team. Kingston's a better team than it was when they played them during the regular season. So they beat Peck on Wednesday night, and then they have to turn around and play Kingston on Thursday night. You don't have a practice in between to kind of figure things out. Because, as she said, we didn't play our best volleyball against Peck. So for the girls to respond without really having that opportunity to go to practice and work on the things that they needed to work on, they just turned around and played up to their potential and played up to Coach Heilig's expectations. And they defeated Kingston, and it was in 3 sets, and, beat them pretty handedly. But for Deckerville, obviously you got Libby Tank, you got Maylee Tank, you got Maya Garza. But during the district play, it was Janelle Kyneth, it was Haley Osborne, it was Madeline Rumble. It was a lot of different players coming up big for Deckerville. And we saw the same thing from Brown City as well with Madeline Thorley and Lindsay Matthews. So, during district play, it's really You can't just have one player. You can't have Sydney maybe go out and win a game for you. You can't have Libby Tank go out and win a game for you. It has to be a complete team effort, and that's what we saw out of Brown City and Deckerville last week.
So the Ubly Bearcats volleyball team swept Owen Gage Friday night to beat the Bulldogs and win that district championship, as we mentioned earlier. That was 25-9, 25-16, 25-15. They got Genesee Christian. When you get to the regionals, this is where things get a little bit antsy and tougher. Here.
Oh yeah.
So this is the district champs. You're winning the best ones out of the district to win that.
Right.
So.
But just going off the records, which obviously you can't really do, but Chesterfield Austin Catholic, I believe, is like 17-16 or 15-16 or something like that. But and then Ubly is Ubly, so I'm not really concerned about Genesee Christian. Maybe I should be, but Ubly is one of the better teams. That I can't say the best volleyball team I've seen this season, but they're pretty dang good, Eddie. So I think they'll be all right. And
they're playing in Division 4.
Correct.
The team that beat Brown City this year too. So, but they're not.
Oh yeah, they beat them twice. Yeah,
they're not. Yeah. But they're not going to face each other in the playoffs.
Correct.
And Brown City in Division 3.
Correct.
All right. So that is high school girls volleyball. A quick break here. We come back. We have a little bit of a personal here. Note to bring up here, and then in the 6 o'clock hour, we'll get into high school football action as well. Any other sports notes that we should know of and be aware of?
That's all I got for now, Eddie.
Okay, we'll be right back here on WMIC. It is Thumb Sportsline. Welcome back to Thumb Sports Line on WMIC 95.3. And on a personal note, we do have some sad news to report. I've had to work with him in the past with Peck Community Sports, Peck High School Sports. Unfortunately, we had a Peck teacher / athletic director pass away suddenly on Thursday, November 6th. I was going to mention this on Friday, but I had to, digress, let people, take this in.
Yeah.
James Welch, who was a coach, assistant coach, athletic director, who was doing a heck of a job there, taking over the Peck Athletics Department, suddenly passed away at the age of 47 out of Peck. He was a big part, and there's nothing but kind words to say about this guy.
Yes. It almost seems like you don't have the right words, though.
No.
It's... You need to come up with new words that haven't been invented yet to kind of describe James. He was a pleasure to work with. Obviously, he was a great coach.
Very accommodating for me.
Very accommodating.
To do coverage on Peck's, schools. He really appreciate the coverage because, it is a small school.
Yeah.
Sometimes stations or media don't take the time to do out there. My mission was always, every team in my county is going to get covered, and he was more than welcoming to help me out.
Right.
So
he coached basketball at Peck. He coached football at Peck. He was the defensive coordinator.
Football, baseball.
Baseball coach. Yep. Great baseball coach. Yes. He was really rebuilding that program. Yeah. This upcoming season and this past season, Peck had a JV baseball team, and I think that had a lot to do with James Welsh. People wanted to play for him. Kids loved him.
Or the fact that he spent a lot of time trying to build this up.
Yes, absolutely.
That's a lot of time away from the family.
People wanted to be a part of it. Yeah. And, he obviously, great coach, great mentor, great friend, and I think it goes even beyond that. His other role at the school, he was the behavior interventionalist, which is a kind of a behavior coach where he would sit down with kids, every day and kind of just be with them and just kind of help them and
hear them out,
right?
Why they're frustrated, or there's trouble in the school with their attitude or something.
And
he would hear them out.
It's every school has that issue. I mean, I don't want to call it an issue, but kids go through things, and to be able to be that person that was there for those kids, to build those relationships, to help them through the things that they were going through. That's going to be nearly impossible to replace for Peck. Obviously, he great coach, great athletic director, but the relationships that he formed with these kids, it was just incredible. But it was so simple to create a relationship with him like that because he was such a great guy.
Yeah. Very welcoming.
Very welcoming.
And kind.
Yes. Yeah. And, I wrote a story that'll be in the Sanilac County News tomorrow, and I didn't even know where to start. I don't know. He was such a great guy that you don't even know what to say, because it doesn't feel like what you say is going to be enough. And I kind of even feel that way right now, Eddie. Yeah. But I didn't have I didn't know him for very long, but I would consider him a great friend, and I think most people would feel that way about him as well. They would consider him a great friend no matter how long you knew him, because that's how he would make you feel. So it's going to be tough to replace him as athletic director. He did so many things to promote that school. He had so much pride in being a Peck Pirate, and he was trying to instill that in these players and in these kids and in these students, and he was doing such a great job at it. And he was constantly trying to promote Peck student athletes, whether it be from the past with the Hall of Fame committee that he started, or with present Peck athletes, or with future Peck athletes. Kind of on a personal note, he was always looking to promote Peck athletics, and on the day that he passed, he had texted me that morning, and he was trying to get Thomas West into the record book, the MHSAA record book for career receiving yards, and we were successfully able to do that. I heard back from Jeff Kimmerly yesterday. We were able to get Thomas into the record book, and I'm really happy about that, because that's just another thing that James did for the Peck community, and that was, it probably wasn't even the last thing that he did for the Peck community, but he was a great man. I would consider him a great friend, and his visitation is going to be Wednesday at 11. The funeral will be at 3. And it will be at the Peck High School Gymnasium, because it will be extremely well attended. So
I mentioned passed away suddenly. It was due to a medical heart issue.
And 47 years old, Eddie. I don't even know what to say. Yeah. I mean, it's just devastating. Yeah,
and this came out of nowhere. So
yes.
I recently got checked myself.
I'm glad you did.
So,
yeah. And we all probably should.
Yeah. And he leaves behind 25 years of marriage. Yeah. With a high school sweetheart, I believe, Shane. And his mother, Susie, she works with my wife at the health department in Sanilac County, and leaves behind a son, Grady, as well. So
yes, our thoughts and prayers are with the family. Spent 25 years at SC4. He was probably at SC4 when both of us were there.
Yeah.
I mean,
but all right, so we remember James Welch.
It's a tough one, Eddie. I don't know. I don't know what else to say.
All right, we bless his family and his memory. Well, of course, all the work he's done so far at Peck, it will not be forgotten.
No, absolutely not.
So prayers out to James Welch and family here on Thumb Sportsline. We'll be back with the show.
From Graf Chevrolet of Sandusky, here's Body Shop associate Tina Kirk.
If you stumble onto an unfortunate fender bender or deer encounter, the Graf Body Shop is the place to get your work done. We work with most makes and models and have access to all parts necessary to get the job done. We work well with all insurance companies to get the claim handled quickly. Let our certified, experienced technicians that care about your vehicle help get your vehicle looking like nothing ever happened. Rental vehicles can be scheduled upon request and availability. To arrange an estimate, call the Graf Body Shop at 810-648-9850, or you can reach me directly at 810-269-6743. Stop by Graf on M46 in Sandusky for all of your automotive needs.
Graf family, we're making friends.
Are you sick and tired of the headaches that come with the big mobile carriers? Not in our neck of the woods. At Thumb Cellular, we keep things simple and local. With friendly, local customer care, you'll always talk to a neighbor, not a robot. Our no-hassle plans are easy to understand, and we have phones for every budget. Plus, you'll always enjoy amazing coverage and crystal clear call quality right here in the Thumb. And right now at Thumb Cellular, we're making it even better. Double your trade-in value with the purchase of a new device, or get a free smartphone when you activate a new line or upgrade. But hurry, these great deals will only be around for a limited time. So don't let those big mobile carriers give you a headache. Get the service you deserve right here in your hometown. Visit your local Thumb Cellular office in Bad Axe, Caro, Pigeon, or Sandusky today. Terms and conditions apply. Offers valid through 12/31/25. Thumb Cellular, your local and headache-free talk of the Thumb.
Can't wait to communicate with you on the talk of the Thumb Cellular.
Welcome back to Thumb Sports Line on WMIC 95.3 FM and streaming online at SanilacBroadcasting.com. Taking a look at the high school football recaps. And yes, we still have a lot of area teams in action. You can go to our Thumb Sports Line for the score recaps. But now we're about to enter the third round of the high school football playoffs in our Sanilac Broadcasting coverage area teams. Of course, go to the MHSAA.com/sports/football section. Let's dive into 11-player football before we hit our immediate coverage area teams in Division 6, Region 4, District 2 championship game. The Almont Raiders defeated and shut out the Marine City Mariners 27-0. This was a home game for Almont, and they are still undefeated. Junior Brody Cornell opened the scoring with a 67-yard touchdown in the third play of the game, and the Raiders never really looked back. Cornell finished with 126 yards on 10 carries. Senior Jacob Stewart's 168 yards on 12 carries. That's very hard to do against a Marine City team.
Absolutely, yeah.
12 carries, including a 10-yard TD run in the fourth quarter. Senior Matthew Bohoski, thank you to his pops, Jeffrey Bohoski, who continues to send us recaps of Almont football. Anyways, Matthew Bohoski, the senior, finally, redshirt, tacked on 66 yards on 8 carries, including a 14-yard touchdown run in the second quarter and a 1-yard TD in the fourth quarter. Dad must be proud. Junior Blake Lane completed just 2 of 2 passes for 39 yards, ground and pound. That's all they had to do. Matthew Bohoski had that catch for 12 yards, and sophomore, yeah, by the way, there's some sophomores, so again,
of course there is.
They're going to be stacked again next year.
Yeah.
Let's focus on this year. Sophomore Logan Chapman. I remember a Chapman, so must be a sibling of another Chapman on that team. Almont had 1 catch, 27 yards. Cornell on defense, by the way, added an interception on defense with a takeaway against Marine City. Great win for the Almont Raiders. They move on to the next round, to the regional championship game. Let's take a look at the stats. By the way, for the season, Almont has just 717 total passing yards.
That's all you need.
3,140 yards in the season thus far, so far. So, for the game, Brody Cornell scored the first touchdown in the first quarter, 67-yard run. Sean O'Neill, his kick was no good, 6-0 at that point. Matthew Bohoski, the 14-yard TD run in the second quarter, making it 14-0. No one scores in the third quarter. Tough defense by Marine City and by Almont. Jacob Stewart in the fourth quarter opened things up with a 10-yard run. Sean O'Neill got that PAT kick, 21-0 at that point. Bohoski had the 2-point run, by the way. That's why it was 14-0. He got the touchdown and the 2-point run. Bohoski with a second TD of the game in the fourth quarter, a 1-yard run. Sean O'Neill kicked no good. Got to fix that. 27-0 is what you had. Almont, 395 total yards, 39 passing, 356 yards rushing. The defense of Almont limited Marine City to just 44 passing yards and 151 rushing yards. And an interception turnover by Marine City. So congrats to the offense of the Almont Raiders, but defensively, this is one of the lower scoring games of the season for them. So
yeah, and it's kind of during the regular season, we would see games where it would be kind of close at halftime with Almont, and then Almont would kind of just slowly pull away in the second half. We saw that quite a few times, actually, with Armada, with Richmond, with Croslex. But this one, it sounds like start to finish, just a great performance from Almont.
So now they will host Detroit Edison on Friday night, 7 p.m. Almont will host this game. They have 61.667 points to 53.056 to Detroit Edison. That's at Almont High School, 7 p.m. kickoff time this coming Friday night. That's in the Region 4 championship game of Division 6 of high school football. Now, the winner of that game between Almont and Detroit Edison will take on the winner of Ida, or is it Ida?
Probably.
Yeah. Or Jackson Lumen Christi. Look out.
Yeah.
That will be at Lumen Christi. Lumen Christi has an 8-3 record. Ida with a 9-2 overall record.
Lumen Christi, very good.
Yeah. 61.889 playoff points. So if they win, they will host.
Almont would.
Or actually, it's state semifinal, so that should be at a
neutral
site.
Yeah.
So, no, I think Jackson Lumen Christi will be the home team because they have a couple tenths of a points ahead of Almont. So this will be Almont's final home game of the season for the playoffs.
Okay.
The other side of the bracket, Reed City's there, Kingsley, Montrose, huge win for that. It's nice to see Montrose. You know, what a turnaround because they had some lean years there, I think. And then, boom, they turned it around. They're undefeated 11-0. They're at Kent City, who's also undefeated as well in Division 6. So there's 4 teams left. After this, you have your state semifinals next week.
Yep.
And then state championship. But this is Division 6. Kingsley beat Travis City St. Francis 57-6. Reed City over Montague 45-14. Kent City over Belding in a close one 24-16. And Montrose handled Durand pretty well 49-16. Jackson Lumen Christi over Napoleon 44-0.
Durand, the Railroaders.
Yeah, Ida over Ecorse 28-6. And Detroit Edison, who Almont faces, defeated Warren Michigan Collegiate 48-14.
Now, Almont played Collegiate, correct?
Earlier
week
in
9 of the season.
Week 9 of the season.
So kind of a common opponent there. I mean, I know it was week 9. They kind of had their playoff spot.
They beat Detroit Edison, but it was a high-scoring affair.
Almont played Detroit Edison already.
Yes.
Okay, so this is a rematch.
Yes, 53-46.
Oh, my. Okay.
Yeah, so that's a high-scoring game.
Very
for both
high-scoring,
these teams.
yes.
And that was near the end of the season.
Yeah.
Near the end of the season because Almont played Clintondale, if you recall, in the districts. First round game. So their non-conference game was Marysville back in week 1. They got the 24-21 win there.
Yes.
So, yeah, this is the second time they're beating them up. So, and that was 53-46, Almont on top with that win.
Okay.
So, good luck.
I would expect probably something a little bit lower scoring this time around, but, hey, who knows?
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Almont's more than capable. They've already beat them once,
absolutely.
But that was too close of a game there.
Well, and I think with Almont, the expectation and the goal is Ford Field. So, they're going to be working pretty hard towards that goal.
Okay, so that's on that aspect. Elsewhere in Division 5, it was the Region 4 District 2 championship game. Frankenmuth took care of the Richmond Blue Devils 38-6 in that one.
Yeah, that was tough. I mean, Frankenmuth, one of the top teams in the state. That's a tough draw for Richmond, but what a great season for the Blue Devils, and I think they've set a new standard at Richmond in terms of
could see it coming.
Yeah, we could see it coming. They were slowly building towards this in the Sean Misko era, and I think this is where they're going to stay for a little while now. They're going to be one of those top teams in the Blue Water Area Conference. They got the playoff win. They beat Armada twice. Great, fantastic season. They beat Croslex for one of the first times in quite some time. Great season for Richmond. Just a tough draw against Frankenmuth.
Yeah, Frankenmuth is a different beast.
They're very good, yeah.
And typically, at that point, or even in the regional, a BWAC team is usually, that's sure you're going to have to go through.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So,
yep.
Yeah. All right, so that is the 2 BWAC teams that was in our coverage area. When we come back, we are going to talk more 11-player football. Yes.
One quick note, Eddie. I don't know if you have it pulled up there, but 2 of Croslex's opponents will be playing for a regional championship this week.
Okay.
Between Saginaw Swan Valley and Ogama Heights. So.
Okay. Saginaw Swan Valley, I'll take a peek at that. They are taking on, Ogama Heights.
Yeah.
So you're saying they're playing against each other is what you're saying.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 2 teams that Croslex had on in week 1 and week 9.
Yeah.
We just, we talked a lot about how tough of a schedule Croslex had this season, and I think that just kind of goes to show just quite how tough it was. But
you think if Croslex, they ended up with 4 wins. If they would have beaten maybe one of those teams, that they might have got in and snuck in.
Probably.
5 wins?
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe if they beat Swan Valley, because I think Ogama Heights being in a lower division, I don't think that it would have helped them that much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if they would have beat both of them, then Croslex would be going to the state finals. But
yeah, All right, and by the way, Frankenmuth, we mentioned them.
Yeah.
They in Division 5, who Frankenmuth beat Richmond in Division 5. Frankenmuth up against Pontiac Notre Dame Prep. I do believe I covered them against Armada last year with Jonathan Bisher and some Togeter Sports. So so they're back in the playoffs. That will be at Pontiac Notre Dame Prep. That's on the road for Frankenmuth.
Yep, that's a good program there. So
that is the Region 4 Division 5 championship games. So all right, now as well in Division 5, Ogama Heights is on the topper bracket in Saginaw Swan Valley as well. All right, a break here. That's the Blue Water Area Conference teams that were in the playoffs. One of them remains, and that's the Almont Raiders still undefeated when they take on Detroit Edison this Friday night at Almont High School. Kickoff at 7 p.m. When we come back from our break, we'll dive into more 11-player football. We got Lakers and Millington to talk about when we come back here, as well as Harbor Beach, and then our 8-player football teams as well here on Thumb Sportsline on WMIC 95.3 FM. It's streaming online. Liberty Lanes and Sandusky salutes the area athletes for their accomplishments and academic achievements. On your way to or from the game, come on into Liberty Lanes for a pizza or one of the many tasty entrees on the menu. Enjoy their Friday fish specials and come back for the Sunday brunch. Liberty Lanes also has banquet facilities available. For information or to place an order to go, call 810-648-9860. That's 810-648-9860. Liberty Lanes, your family dining and bowling center in West Park, Sandusky. Serving you for more than 40 years. You can find Liberty Lanes on Facebook.
The King of Cars.
This is Denny King, the King of Cars. Do you know why your friends and neighbors have been driving to Carroll for over 60 years? It's because we consistently provide the best buying experience in the Thumb for all of our customers. When you come see me, Denny King, the King of Cars, you get to put my 3 decades of experience to work for you. You get the best price on a new Ford, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, or Ram when you shop More Motors in Carroll. At More Motors, we take pride in transparency, honesty, and fairness with all of our customers. When you shop More Motors in Carroll, we check every incentive available to ensure you are always getting the best deal possible. At More Motors in Carroll, we understand not all dealers are the same. City dealers will even often say anything just to get people in the door. At More Motors, we don't do that. So when you're in the market for a new Ford, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, or Ram, shop More Motors in Carroll. Then you too will see why your friends and neighbors have been driving to Carroll for more than 60 years.
Hi, this is Steve Kohler from Kohler's Propane. It's that special time of year. The footballs are flying, there are fall festivals, and trips to the cider mills, and many school activities. We would like to thank the many volunteers who work hard to make these special times fun and safe. Whether it's working for a safe harvest, driving safely, and watching for the youngsters on our streets and sidewalks, please do your part to prevent an accident.
And this is Joni. Along with fall comes a reminder that cold weather is on the way. Now is the time to call Kohler's for that fall fill-up. We guarantee your price for 1 full year, offer free tank installation with keep full and budget plans available. For information, call us toll-free 800-572-2191 or visit our website, getkohlers.com.
For more information, call 1-800-572-2191. Kohler Propane in Brown City, Memphis, and Bad Axe. And remember,
nobody gives you gas like Kohler's.
Welcome back to WMIC Thumb Sports Line on 95.3 FM. A podcast replay of this show will be posted later tonight or by tomorrow as well.
It will be posted everywhere. We're all over the place now, Eddie.
We are. Do you know where? Because
Apple Music, Amazon Music, whatever type of music app you can think of.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So
thank you to Nick Lean for that.
Yeah. All right. So let's dive into 11-player football, more 11-player football. The Elkton Pigeon Bayport Lakers in Division 7 went up against one of the a big-time powerhouse against Ithaca, the legendary Ithaca.
Yep.
They got a college football field atmosphere there, I believe, as well. They love their football there. Lakers, one of the toughest defenses around, despite their losses, to Millington, to Harbor Beach as well. But their scores were close.
Yeah, absolutely.
They got to host this Division 7 district championship game on Saturday afternoon, by the way.
Yep.
The first time they were hosting a district final since 2014, according to Tom Green's report here from the Huron Daily Tribune. And
would that have been, who would they have been playing 2014? I'm just trying. It doesn't matter.
Hosting?
It doesn't matter.
Hosting?
Yeah, they wouldn't have been hosting Pewaukee.
You made it matter now, so you're going to make me...
I'm sorry. Okay.
So now I got to look here. So
I like doing a little trivia on the fly.
Okay.
On the fly. Well, because then the listeners can scream out the answers while we look for it.
Add us to throwing tennis balls or
trash,
or soda cans or Gatorade or Powerade zeros.
Yeah.
So, by the way, Lakers were tri-champions in the Big Thumb White Division with Cass City and Millington.
Yep.
So, looking at the Lakers, you're asking in 2014 when they hosted.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking back on Michigan-football.com. Still
the greatest
a valuable
website ever.
Resource of high school football records, by the way. Right up there with Snooze to use playoff predictions.
Yes.
They took on Cass City.
Okay.
And won 32-6.
Okay.
So that was 2014.
Okay.
That was a really good Laker team. They were undefeated all the way up through after defeating Cass City in the district championship game. So that was, the last time they hosted a district championship game. They lost in regionals. So that's what I think Tom Green means the last time district championship game. Yeah. So, there we go. All right. So we got that straightened out. Thanks for doing that, because we just didn't want to hear us
sorry.
go on blast there. So.
I will say, for the record, they must have played Pewaukee Westphalia at some point in the postseason. Otherwise, it wouldn't be stuck randomly in my brain for no. I don't just carry around useless information for no reason.
That's the sports guys. We don't do that, right?
Yeah.
So Ithaca Yellow Jackets stung the Lakers in a comeback fashion. In great comeback fashion. The defense played good until they didn't. Lakers came out in the first half. Lucas Wayner, field goal. Special teams right before the half gave him a good boost, they say, according to the report. Second half, both sides of the ball, defensively and offensively, quarterback Grant Buchholz rushed for 53 yards and a touchdown, also threw for 62 yards and a touchdown, made 3 tackles, 1 for a loss on defense. But Ithaca, they found a way to come back. They couldn't stick it to them. Take that. I don't know.
Finish them off. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. What was it? Play calling or just Ithaca's that good?
Ithaca's Ithaca. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't really like the phrase when you're talking about high school football, but you really got to step on the neck. You can't let them back off the mat. And unfortunately, there was just a little bit of a sliver there for Ithaca to get back into it, and that's all they need. They're a very talented program. They're not a team that's just going to pack it in and say, "Oh, we're down 21-7. It's time to head home for the season." But I do want to say that Buchholz, you got to give him a ton of credit at the quarterback position, stepping in for the injured Ben Lavasser. Really did a pretty stellar job filling in some tough situations, coming in for the playoffs and, taking over that starting quarterback position and still doing well defensively too.
So it was a 22-21 win for Ithaca, 1-point win. They went to the passing game. Ithaca did 20 of 38 passing, 202 passing yards.
So, 20 completions, 202 yards. That's still pretty solid for Lakers. I mean,
that's for Ithaca.
Right. Yeah. But for the Laker defense, you're not giving up huge plays.
Yeah.
But it sounds like Ithaca was just able to march down and, pick up first downs and find a way to win.
They had a passing touchdown, Ithaca did, and threw an interception this game. So there's that Laker defense.
Yep.
Rushing-wise, they put up 201 rushing yards on 36 carries and 2 touchdowns. So, well-balanced offense. I think that was the catalyst to come back.
You said 202 passing, 201 rushing?
Yeah. So back to Ithaca, quarterback Gibson Rondi had the 2 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion for Ithaca to get this comeback win. For the Lakers, quarterback Grant Buchholz threw to running back Luke Good. He took the reception for a 57-yard TD. Kicker Lucas Wainer made the extra point. Lakers leading 7-0 at that point. So in this game, both teams were stopped on their first series of offense. Lakers 3 and out, Ithaca on a 3rd and 12 and a 4th down conversion. Second drive, Lakers quarterback Grant Buchholz passing to Luke Good, the running back, got a touchdown, 57 yards. Big play there. Kicker Lucas Wainer made the extra point. Lakers had a 7-0 lead. That was halfway through the first quarter at that point. And it would also be the score at the end of the first quarter. So low score in affair there. Lakers leading 7-0. Defense, like you said, that's been the key for the Lakers throughout the whole season. They did have a sack in a 3rd down situation. Caden Carrivu. And the defense blocked a punt. So big moment there.
Yeah.
On that drive after that, Good threw a touchdown pass to Lucas Wainer from 22 yards out. Lakers led 14-0 at that point. Take that lead into the half. You're leading 14-0 here, Mike Gallagher.
Feel good. You got to feel good at that point, yeah.
The Ithaca Yellow Jackets buzzed and drove down the field to start the second half, but they were stopped on 4th and 7 at the Laker 8-yard line. Big stop on defense there. Lakers went 3 and out. Next drive, Ithaca finally gets back on the scoreboard. Rondi threw a touchdown pass to wide receiver Riley Guild, 36 yards. Score was 14-7 at that point. They're getting close here.
Right.
Ithaca then, a turnover situation. They recovered a fumble on the next possession, but then they threw an interception right after that. Lucas Wainer, that was returned for a defensive pick 6 touchdown.
Oh, okay.
Lakers leading 21-7 at that point, and that was the score at the end of the third quarter. You're feeling good. All you got to do is
great.
Run the ball.
Yeah.
And just grind that clock out. You know, the Yellow Jackets, however, drove to the 1-yard line at the end of the third quarter. On the first play of the fourth, quarterback rushes in for a 1-yard score. An offside penalty in the Lakers also proved costly.
Okay.
As he rushed for a 2-point conversion to make the score 21-15 at that point. Now, that's where you get that 1-point lead.
Yeah.
Now
you're starting to feel a little nervous.
The next Ithaca drive for the Yellow Jackets, the quarterback scores again from a yard out. Extra point was good. They have a 22-21 lead, which would be the end of the score of the day. So there you go. Lakers can't get that extra score in the second half.
Right. That's tough.
Take them over top, or even a field goal or something to get within range. So, man, what a tough break. That's got to be a huge, heartbreaking situation for the team there. So, ouch.
Hey, great season for Lakers, though.
But Ithaca is a team that, if there's a team that can do that, they're the team that can do that.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So,
I'd say no shame in losing to Ithaca. I know it's a tough loss. Especially tough to lose that way, but
8-2 overall record that Lakers finished with. Probably one of the best defensive teams, second to Harbor Beach.
I could probably
in our coverage area.
I could probably agree with that.
In our coverage area,
I think Millington might have a case as well, but Lakers. I mean, it's crazy when
I remember
you look at
the lowest scoring game for Harbor Beach in the regular season was against the Lakers,
which is crazy because it was still 20 points. But I think that, that does show a lot about the Laker defense and, want to make games. So,
all right. At that point there, we'll take another break and come back and talk about Harbor Beach Pirates.
Sounds good.
So, congrats to Lakers. They did get a league title out of this.
They did.
They did win a playoff game.
They did.
District championship.
Hosted a playoff game.
Yeah.
Or hosted a, district
championship
final. That's
game.
cool.
All right, we'll be back here on WMIC 95.3. It is Thumb Sportsline. We'll talk about the Harbor Beach Pirates when we come back.
Grab family. Since 1914, we've been selling cars, making friends along the way.
From Graf Chevrolet of Sandusky, here's service writer Mackenzie Eisler.
Hey everyone, winter is right around the corner, and if you're looking for a little more grip in the elements, GM is now offering a buy 3 tires, get the 4th for $1, now through the end of November. This applies to almost all brands: Goodyear, Michelin, Kelly, Continental, General, and Pirelli tires. If we don't have your brand or size in stock, no worries. There's a good chance the special still applies. Also, the holidays are right around the corner. Service gift certificates are available today to use towards oil changes, tires, or even detailing services. Call the Graf Service Department at 810-648-9850 to schedule all your automotive service needs.
Can you go anywhere and find an endeavor in society where we've come to accept and tolerate an adult, and even kids, treating another adult the way we allow spectators, coaches, and players to treat a high school game official? Can you? No one has the right to abuse game officials. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Are you tired of big carrier headaches? You know, the ones with the long wait times and frustrating plans. At Thumb Cellular, things are done differently. In our neck of the woods, there's no headaches or confusion. Just simple, hassle-free service from real people who know you. Thumb Cellular offers easy-to-understand plans, great coverage, clear call quality, and phones and service for every budget. Make the switch today and say goodbye to the headaches and stress of big carriers. Right now, get double your trade-in value with a new device purchase. Also, get a free smartphone with a new line activation or upgrade. Terms and conditions apply. Talk to a customer care rep for details. Experience the Thumb Cellular difference. Stop by your local office in Bad Axe, Caro, Pigeon, or Sandusky. These limited-time offers are valid through December 31st, 2025. Thumb Cellular, the local talk of the thumb.
Can't wait to communicate with you on the talk of the thumb. Thumb Cellular.
Welcome back to Thumb Sports Line on WMIC 95.3 FM as we dive into Division 8. Before I do want to mention that Lakers getting beat by Ithaca. Ithaca will now take on Pewamo Westphalia.
Ah, that's where I was thinking of.
Yeah.
No.
That's at Pewamo, who's undefeated at 10-0. And that will be a Friday night game, 7 p.m.
Okay.
All right, Division 8. In our coverage area, in the district finals, it was the Harbor Beach Pirates. They get the win over the Unionville-Sebewaing Patriots. Congrats to Unionville-Sebewaing of getting into the playoffs.
Getting a win.
Huh?
Getting a win in the playoffs.
Yep, got in the playoffs, but they were up against a juggernaut in our coverage area.
Yes.
The Harbor Beach Pirates in the Division 8 Region 2 District 2 championship game. Harbor Beach wins 35-12. Now, don't let that score fool you too much here.
I'm easily fooled, so I'm going to need you to give me some context here.
The other key thing, Harbor Beach had a lot of their players come back to play, too.
Okay.
You know? Probably loaded up again because earlier in the season, some players were hurt. Mm-hmm. And it was hard to have a stable cohesive roster. Although the team stepped up, still undefeated. Got some of your best players that get hurt. Not doing too well. But Keegan Postivio, or is it Postestivio?
I want you to say how you think it is, and then Ashley Wayner Palmer, she'll be listening, and she will correct you.
She did tell me how to say it. So
Uh-oh.
Before, but that was a long time ago at the Marlette game.
Oh, yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But you mentioned him because he had a great game. Just 5 carries, 83 yards, 2 touchdowns. Fantastic. When you talk about Harbor Beach, you usually talk about Caden Buchholz or Andrew Caban or Rogan Messing, and Benson Harper to a certain extent. But this week it was him. It was 5 carries, 83 yards. Just a casual 16.5 yards per carry. Just a fantastic game out of him.
So it was 7-0 halfway through the first quarter. So that was Skylar Cruz. Yeah.
The Andrew Caban had the first touchdown.
Okay. Skylar Cruz kicked through the first of his 5 extra points. That was 7-0 halfway through the first quarter there. USA driving the ball, getting to Harbor Beach territory, But the quarterback, Davis Peters' pass intended for Carson Dixon fell incomplete on 4th down, giving the ball back to Harbor Beach. Turnover on downs there.
So you're 14-6. That's not a bad spot to be right there because the first time around this game, there was some well-deserved hype around this game the first time around. But you know how it goes, Eddie. It's hard to play a team twice, and Harbor Beach kind of handled USA pretty easily the first time around. So this time around, you're talking 14-6. Okay, maybe USA is gonna have a better shot in this one, but not necessarily.
Yeah, 14-6 there. 4:31 remaining in the first half. Keegan again finding the end zone for his second touchdown of the night, making it a 12-yard run to extend the lead back out to 2 scores, 21-6. 7-0, we mentioned earlier, through the first quarter. They gave the ball back to the Pirates, who made it 14-0. Forgot to mention that. 1:09 remaining in the first quarter. But the Patriots did respond, like you said, returning the kick to begin at the Harbor Beach 48-yard line. 15 plays, man, to get to the end zone for
nice drive.
And that's how you keep the ball away from Harbor Beach.
That's what we've said all season. Yeah. The only way you're going to beat Harbor Beach is if you keep the ball away from them.
Davis Peters, 6-yard TD pass to Carson Dixon. Like we said, the 2-point conversion run was stopped just short of the end zone. This is from WWW Sports. 14-6 as we mentioned. But Harbor Beach finds the end zone, like we mentioned earlier, a 12-yard run to extend the lead 21-6. A couple plays later, the Harbor Beach defense, which has been great all season, picked off by Andrew Caban. 16 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Kind of like a huge takeaway before the end of the half at the Patriot 22-yard line, and as time expired, Katie Buholtz connects with Skylar Cruz for a 20-yard catch to big one.
That's the big one.
You mentioned, yeah, that was a big one.
Yep.
To lead by 22 points at the half. Cruz's third successful point after a kick, 28-6 at that point. USA coming out of the third quarter though, 80 yards, another long drive, 14 plays. Bryson Finkbeiner or Beaner.
Oh, you had it right the first time for the first time all year, Eddie.
Okay, so I got it.
But then you corrected yourself to the wrong name.
I'm going to correct myself again. Okay. Bryson Finkbeiner.
There you go.
Driving into the end zone, 1 yard out. 2-point conversion fails. It's 28-12. Still kind of serviceable. You're in the third quarter.
Not a bad spot, yeah.
But unfortunately, as Clark had noted here, Clark Ramsey at WOW Sports, Harbor Beach Pirates sails with this drive. Fifth and final score, Katie Buholtz breaking loose a 42-yard rushing touchdown. Skylar Cruz gets his fifth extra point with a 23-point lead, 35-12. A minute remaining in the third quarter. In the fourth quarter, some good drives, but resulted in turnover and downs for each team.
Yeah.
So their final drive, 17 plays, 50 yards, but ended with an interception as time ran out at the game for USA.
Yeah, a couple things I want to note here, Eddie, and again, this is courtesy of Clark Ramsey from WLEW Sports, Doug Cole and Dave Hansen and the whole gang. Andrew Caban had 2 interceptions defensively for Harbor Beach, but this is the stat that really stands out to me. USA was 4 of 11 on third downs. They were 6 of 8 on fourth down, so that's where you get these 14, 15-play drives. You go 6 of 8 on fourth down. Harbor Beach, 2 of 3 on third downs. They only got to a third down 3 times, Eddie. Mm-hmm. They were 0 for 1 on fourth downs, but that was on the final drive of the game when the game was over, when they had their first and only turnover on downs. You look at the total plays for each Harbor Beach drive, 9 plays, 1 play, 7 plays, 2 plays, 4 plays. So USA did what we've been saying you have to do all year. You have to keep the ball away from Harbor Beach's offense. That's really the only chance you're going to get. USA was able to do that by doing a great job with their third and fourth down conversions. But then when Harbor Beach scores on a 1 yard or a 1-play drive, a 2-play drive, a 4-play drive, what else are you supposed to do, Eddie? I mean, USA had the perfect game plan. They executed it extremely well, and they still lost to Harbor Beach. I mean, this Harbor Beach team, Eddie, incredibly impressive. I don't know how you stop them. I don't know how BL City's going to stop them. But that's just a huge win. And they have so many offensive weapons. It's similar to when we talk about Bay City All Saints or the Kingston Cardinals, where you have so many options offensively. Teams don't know who they're going to try and stop.
So you mentioned all that offense, and in Beale City, these are big-time rivals. Either an Ubley or Harbor Beach team will take on Beale City in the end. Keegan, I'm going to try this again. Keegan Potestivo.
Okay.
Did I get it right? Potestivo.
Okay.
How about that one? I'm sorry, Keegan, but nobody's messaging me back and say if I'm saying it right. So hopefully Ashley does here in a minute.
She'll tell you if you got it wrong.
Keegan Potestivo.
Maybe just stop trying to say it.
I just think it's a cool name, first of all.
It is a cool name, yes.
Yeah, so. Can you say my real name? Oh, I got a message here. Let's see.
Fast. Potestevio.
Thank you to Ashley Wayner-Palmer.
Here, let me hold it up there so she can say it, and then I'll say if I'm saying it correct here. I mean, I obviously butchered it, so.
Keegan Potestevio. Say it really fast. Potestevio.
There you go.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Ashley Wayner-Palmer, Director of Activities, and
that's what the TSA is all about, right there, helping each other
Potestevio.
out. Yes.
Keegan Potestevio. I love saying it.
Yeah.
Keegan
now
Potestevio.
that you got it, yeah.
Yeah. Can I say it again? Keegan Potestevio, 5 carries, 83 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Yep. I do want to mention Brady Green, USA's Brady Green. He had 88 yards on 22 carries. He finishes the season with 18 touchdowns and over 1,400 yards rushing. He's going to be a kid that will be in the conversation for TSA Player of the Year at our meeting tomorrow. But yeah, great job by USA. They did what they could. They drew up the perfect game plan. Shout out to Coach Hahn. But Harbor Beach is Harbor Beach, Eddie.
Okay, and again, they're up against Beale City, and that's a home game for Harbor Beach, by the way.
And it's going to be cold, Eddie.
Is it?
It always is. Harbor Beach in November, it's going to be cold.
The gales of November, which I happen to be, I actually caught some of those gales at Whitefish Point over the weekend and Monday. So, as you mentioned, Beale City, who beat Saginaw Nouvelle 41-13 to meet up against Harbor Beach. Home game for Harbor Beach, and they barely got it by 0.4 of a point.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so.
Harbor Beach earned it, though, with that tough regular season schedule.
That will be a WLW Sports Saturday afternoon game. Kickoff at 1 p.m. I'm sure the pregame around 12 noon or 12:30.
Yeah, I believe 12 noon.
All right, so check that and listen in on that. And we'll pass on updates from that game if you're tuning into our Deckerville football game coverage. Harbor Beach Pirates, congrats. You're back here. Regional 2, Division 8 championship game. Good luck to them. When the other side of the bracket, Bart River Harris is at Maple City Glen Lake. The bottom bracket has Springport at Hudson and Allen Park Cabrini at Madison Heights Madison.
Okay.
All right, when we come back here, we have the Millington Cardinals to talk about. They are in our
Scotty B.
Yeah, they are in our Thumb Sports Writers Media Association coverage area. We got to talk about this fantastic team and their defending state champions as well. When we come back here on Thumb Sports Line on WMIC.
Tackle those tough cutting jobs with steel products from your nearest Tri-County equipment location. Save $50 on the Steel MS 250/18 chainsaw. Buy the Steel MS 172 CE model for only $249. It comes with Steel easy to start and quick stop, diagnostic socket, and many other features. Tri-County equipment cuts the cost of cutting with the MSA 70 CB12 chainsaw, sale tagged at $399. And it comes with a free battery valued at $179.99. You can also save big on steel blowers. The BRX 800X Magnum is reduced $50 to $599. Many other specials too. Hurry, these deals good for a limited time only at your steel dealer. Tri-County Equipment in Sandusky, Marlette, Bad Axe, Carroll, Lapeer, Fenton, Burton, Reese, Birch Run, Saginaw, and Auburn Hills.
Tri-County Equipment.
Welcome back to Thumb Sports Line on WMIC 95.3 FM. And our I guess he has participated over 3 or 4 times now on the show. Scott Bolsby from the Tuscola County Advertiser. And also Let's Talk Sports on WIDL 92.1 FM. Scotty, how you doing, buddy?
Good, Eddie. Glad to see the Gales in November brought you back home safely.
Yes, you like that. I stuck to the plan, and I'm happy I did it. There was a calling somehow to us all, and I represented the TSA, and it was great. I had a great time, but it was work too, but it was a great town and a great turnout. Thousands showed up, Scotty, to this ceremony.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Good. I saw your pictures that you sent us, and I was blown away by how many cars were there. But that's amazing that so many people still show up and still recognize that sadly a disaster, but it's really kind of turned into a legacy and just a memorable thing for the state of Michigan, and not even the state of Michigan, but the entire country.
Yeah, and I even got you a T-shirt. I gave Mike his. So yeah.
Appreciate that. No, I'm excited for it.
All right, so let's be excited about this. Some coverage area teams.
Yes.
In your neck of the woods. First of all, let's talk about the Middleton Cardinals, defending state champions in Division 7. They won the Region 4 District 2 championship game as Middleton defeated Rochester Hills Lutheran Northwest 49-0. How about that?
Yeah, they handled business. We thought them going south was going to help out. I wouldn't say help out, but kind of give them maybe an easier path than having to go up against, like a Lake or Cass City or Ithaca or Valley Lutheran even this time of year. Especially coming out that Week 9 game against Harbor Beach. And, they've really put it to the two teams that they've had to play. And you can only play who's in front of you. And they've been able to handle both. And a big shutout against last week against, was it Burton Bendel? Is that who they played? Bendel? Yeah.
Yep.
And then this week against Rochester Hills Lutheran Northwest. And just a good game, kind of getting everybody involved. Hudson Myers, Drake Terwilliger, Logan Myers, and Eli Stefani, who I didn't really even know until this game, all rushed for a touchdown. Garrett Woodward was 8 of 13 passing for 156 yards, 3 scores, and Chase Molast, and doing a great job, 4 receptions for 80 yards and 2 scores. And Layden DeLong also had a receiving touchdown. So scoring a little bit differently with through the air and on the ground. So kind of, stretching their legs out a little bit and getting a better understanding of maybe what this team is made up of after that Harbor Beach game. And, yeah, it's been a nice bounce back for them the past 2 weeks after losing against Harbor Beach.
Yeah, I want to ask you about that. They had some hiccups there.
Yeah.
How did they looking at based on the paperwork that you received, and did you go to this game too? Because this was a Friday night game, right? So
it was. I was at the Kingston game, but
okay.
I didn't talk. I was emailing with Coach Jason Germain, and basically he said that Week 9 was against Harbor Beach was a humbling experience for a lot of people, including myself. But it's high school football, so it's important to keep everything in perspective. It was a hard loss. There's no doubt about it, but you can't let one game or one defeat define you as a team. He said the kids worked too hard to just give it up and call it a season right there, and they have made the choice to build off of that and prepare for the playoffs, and here they are now. And, he just said that the defense has really stepped up. The calling card the past, 2 years at least for them in the playoffs has been the defense. Coach Lenny Dantine, the previous head coach, now a defensive coordinator, he gave him props saying he does a fantastic job preparing the kids on the defensive end of the ball, and they're hoping they can continue that along. And, he's just basically, from, what I understand, is they really took that Harbor Beach game to heart and, it kind of woke them up a little bit and realized that, it's either, now it's time to go or it's going to get, you're going to be going home. And now they get to host their 3rd consecutive playoff game with a little bit of a upset on the other side of the bracket.
So this team, of course, won the state title last year. Is this a team that's looking for its own identity, too, based on the turnover?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, obviously, when you graduate pretty much everybody, when you look at that lineup, I think Chase Mellison is maybe the only one that really sticks out to me that had a game had a kind of a big part of the team last year in the postseason. But he was more on the defensive side of the ball. This year, he's offensively one of their better players. Hudson and Logan Myers are out there. Logan had a pretty good year last year running the ball, but he wasn't really needed as much with obviously Dallas Walsh in the backfield. Garrett Woodward, I believe he played maybe wideout position last year, or more of an athletic or an athlete position. He wasn't really, obviously didn't have to throw the ball with Chuck Turbush. I feel like they got him in on some trick plays throwing the ball. But overall, yeah, you're seeing a completely different team as opposed to last year's team, and they're still trying to figure out. And they had to get over some hiccups to start the season, obviously with the fumbles and just the defense wasn't. And this is no disrespect, but it wasn't as strong. And I don't think really either side of the ball was as strong. And you're asking a lot because last year was a once in a lifetime type of team with Millington, and goes down as arguably, and I think a lot of the former players say the best team in Millington history. And that was a team that was clicking on all cylinders last year. So to really compare them to last year's team, is not fair in my, me trying to say that they're not as good, but it's obviously a step back. They're obviously trying to figure some stuff out, work out some kinks, and try to figure out what this team was about all season long, I feel like. And now is the time to catch fire if you're going to catch fire and try to figure some stuff out. And it feels like they're spreading the ball around nicely, and they are figuring some stuff out. And trying to establish that identity and figure out really truly what this team is about.
So Millington taking on the Clinton Red Wolves. Red Wolves is a team that is 9-2 overall. Week 1 loss to Monroe St. Mary Catholic, 42-6. Yeah. Their other loss to Hudson, playoff teams, by the way. They're the team that beat Ida. Am I saying that correctly?
I believe that's how you say it. That's how I've always said it. So.
And they defeated Ida. They're in the playoffs. They defeated Ubley at the in the regular season. They beat Ottawa Lake Whiteford, and they beat Monroe St. Mary Catholic. This time they got revenge and won in the district championship 22-14. So this is a pretty hot team right now, Clinton Red Wolves, who we don't see sometimes pop up too often, do we, in the playoffs? They did last year, but they lost to Monroe St. Mary Catholic. And they've been in the playoffs, I think, 3 straight years, 4 or 5. Yeah, they've been around for quite some time, popping around in Division 6 and 7. But, they've had some great success in this program, but come back and beat Monroe St. Mary Catholic. So probably a team that, obviously it's going to be tough again for Millington this week.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, kind of looking back on Clinton's history when I was writing up the preview, they had a couple of nice playoff runs back in 2013 and 2015, but unfortunately, those are the same years that Ithaca was absolutely stacked. They got beat by Ithaca both times those years, and then a couple years ago they were in the state finals, lost to Montague in that game, and then usually run into like a Jackson Lumen Christi or Monroe St. Mary Catholic. So usually they get bumped out early on. This year, like you said, they turned the tables, losing to Monroe St. Mary 42-6 to open the season. Turn the tables, 22-14, getting the victory. And with them getting that victory, it prevents the rematch from last year between Millington and Monroe St. Mary Catholic, who was the state final game. It prevents Millington from having to go on the road, so they get to host. But obviously Clinton is no joke. Like you said, they picked up some nice wins. A big chunk of the teams that they played did not make the playoffs or had a winning record. But, a 32-16 loss against Hudson, who's looked at as one of the top teams in Division 8, who, Harbor Beach could be playing in a couple weeks. And then, obviously, Ubley to end the season, so kind of an idea, a team locally that can maybe give Millington some tips on that they can work with. And then Ottawa Lake Whiteford, we really know them because they beat Ubley a couple years ago in the state finals. Then Ubley, got the revenge, and then they played Harbor Beach earlier this year and got thumped by the Pirates. So some familiar names that they have played and beat this year. They look good. I don't know a ton about them. I was talking to defense coordinator Lenny Dantine earlier, and I said, what makes them tough? He said they're diverse, they're physical, and their quarterback is a dual threat. So whenever you have a dual threat quarterback, that can definitely give you a handful that can throw it and run it. So they're going to get the home game. They're going to get the, home support, but they're going to have their hands full this weekend against Clinton.
Yeah, and that'll be a Saturday afternoon game, 1 p.m. kickoff. The winner of Millington and Clinton in this Division 7 Region 4 championship will take on the winner of the Region 3 Championship. Schoolcraft, who is at Hanover Horton on Saturday afternoon as well. And the other side of the bracket, you mentioned Ithaca. They're up against Pewamo Westphalia and Shelby at Menominee as well, who is undefeated. Another great season for Menominee at 11-0 and the top upper echelon bracket in Region 1. All right, Scotty, we're going to take a quick break here on WMIC 95.3 FM. When we come back, we'll talk about Kingston football. They gave you covered last week as well. Here on Thumb Sportsline, we'll be right back here on WMIC.
From Graf Chevrolet of Sandusky, here's Body Shop Associate Tina Kirk.
If you stumble onto an unfortunate fender bender or deer encounter, the Graf Body Shop is the place to get your work done. We work with most makes and models and have access to all parts necessary to get the job done. We work well with all insurance companies to get the claim handled quickly. Let our certified, experienced technicians that care about your vehicle help get your vehicle looking like nothing ever happened. Rental vehicles can be scheduled upon request and availability. To arrange an estimate, call the Graf Body Shop at 810-648-9850, or you can reach me directly at 810-269-6743. Stop by Graf on M46 in Sandusky for all of your automotive needs.
Attention Windows users! If your computer is still running Windows 10, now is the time to take action. Microsoft has officially ended support for the Windows 10 operating system, which means no more security updates or patches. This leaves your personal data at risk from viruses, malware, and spyware. The solution? Upgrade to Windows 11. And the EBS Tech team is here to make the upgrade easy, seamless, and secure. Our qualified technicians will check your computer for compatibility, guide you through the process, and safely transfer all your files so nothing gets lost. And if it's time for a new PC, the EBS Tech team will help you find the perfect machine for your needs, and we'll make sure it's ready with Windows 11 right out of the box. Don't wait until it's too late. Visit the EBS Tech team in Pigeon or Sandusky, or give us a call today at 888-282-4943.
Welcome back to Thumb Sportsline on WMIC. Back here with Scott Bolsby of the Tuscola County Advertiser and WIDL 92.1. Let's talk sports and FM sports coverage. Pick up the Tuscola County Advertiser tomorrow, Wednesday edition, for the full recaps of all the coverage area teams in high school girls volleyball and also high school football. So high school A-player football, you covered this game last week. Kingston Cardinals in Division 1 this season. They took on the giant killer of the K-Pac Chiefs. However, Kingston was able to find the solution and stop the K-Pac Chiefs. Tell me about this game that you had covered with Shoddy, and it was you, Scotty, and the Shoddy on the call.
Yep. Just an entertaining game. K-Pac going for the trifecta, knock it out. Not knocking them out of the playoffs, but taking care of Brown City, taking care of Deckerville in the regular season, and trying to take care of Kingston in the postseason. And it was a very interesting game in the first half. 8-0 was the score. Kingston gets in the end zone 3 different times, but all 3 times called back on penalties. 2 of them you could definitely see. One of them was iffy, but that's just the name of the game. And talking to Coach Eric Hartzell, and he said, I almost blew my top at that point. I was just, if they would have called back another one, I don't know if I would have been able to be consoled, because I was just getting fed up at that point. And they ended up not getting into the end zone, ended up giving the ball back and going to the halftime 8-0. And then K-Pac is able to score. And I got to give props to the little man there. And I mean no disrespect. We said that during the game. No disrespect at all to Sam Schneider. But, when you look at the field, you can clearly say, hey, he's the little guy out there. That's how you know who he is. And he was just so much fun to watch. And I hate using the comparison to pro players, but I said the only thing I can compare this type of running to is a very Barry Sanders-esque type of running.
Yeah.
He was bouncing off the back of lines. He was finding these holes that you didn't think were there. just strong. He was moving his legs. He was just being able to move piles of players. He was just continuing to stay on his feet. He was hard to bring down, and it was almost, as a broadcaster, I was kind of getting frustrated for the Kingston defense because it was just like anything they did, they couldn't bring him down. He was just that type of runner and just a fun kid to watch. So really hated to see his season and career end. Really wish that he would have been able to get another season to really come and ball out. And but just too much Kingston. They were able to finally pour some on in the second half, get the 32-8 win, and they ran the ball really well. Defense stepped up when they needed to. Nick Cummings got an interception, I believe. We think it's still some conversation about it, that he has the tied record for most interceptions in a season, which would be tied with, or he'd have the new record. I can't remember what it was, with Coach Eric Hartzell from when he played back in the 2010s. But just a fun game all around. It was just Sam Schneider putting on a clinic. He almost beat Kingston by himself. He had obviously his defense backing him up, but just offensively, he almost beat Kingston by himself. He was just that type of player, and Kingston was able to hold on. Colin Corliss, he had a big game, 151 yards rushing, touchdown. Nick Cummings, I think he had 127 yards rushing and a touchdown. So those two ran the ball really well. Kendrick James, Nick Rail also was able to get on the scoreboard with a couple of rushing touchdowns. So they looked good. Defensively, Kingston looked good, and they were able to finally get the solution to beat K-Pac, because nobody has been able to the past couple weeks. So it was going into the game, I didn't really know I kept having people ask what it's going to be, and I said, a lot of people think it's going to be close. I don't know how to feel about it, but I think it's going to be a battle. And somebody said, I think it's going to come down to the last touchdown, or whoever has the ball last. And I thought it was going to for the longest time. And then Kingston was able to put some points on in the fourth quarter. And kind of really, that the score is not, it doesn't really show you how tough of a game that was for Kingston to get that win. But
yeah,
credit to K-Pac.
Yeah, this is what happened. The first quarter, the first touchdown was scored by Kingston in the first quarter. It was 8-0, 13-yard run. And that was by who?
That would have been early on. Colin Corliss, I think, scored the first touchdown.
No score in the second quarter. No score in the third quarter until Sam Schneider actually had that score in the third quarter for K-Pac with a 3-yard run. That was 8-8 at that point. So, bam, K-Pac's in this game. I was listening on Friday night when I was here editing schedules here because my game was until Saturday the next day, so it was a real treat to listen to you guys. But then Kingston explodes in that fourth quarter. A 6-yard TD run, 5-yard TD run, and then a 10-yard TD run to make it 32-8. So they exploded in the fourth quarter. What was the takeaway? Yeah. What was it that Kingston did? Did they finally defense, or K-Pac made the mistakes, or?
Yeah, the biggest thing I think that really turned the tables was Kingston goes in for a touchdown. They go up, I believe it was 16-8, and then they come down. K-Pac, I think maybe the second snap of the possession after the touchdown, Sam Schneider rolls out to his right and tries to throw up a pass down the sideline, and Nick Cummings comes flying in and takes it away. And that really deflated K-Pac, and then Kingston was able to go in and get another touchdown. And I think once they went down by 2 scores, you knew it was going to be tough to come back, because the way that K-Pac runs the ball and grinds it out, they can throw the ball, but it's clearly not their bread and butter. They like to run it. They like to grind it out. Sam Schneider is able to pick up, 7, 8, 9, 10 yards and get the first down, but then he's also able to get them second and shorts and third and shorts, and it's one of those types of teams. And I think that interception was absolutely game changing. And Coach Hartzell said the same thing. Like, that interception was big, and I really point back to that as kind of a difference maker in that game, and really took the wind out of K-Pac's sails.
Yeah, they had a fumble in this game as well, and the interception, like you said, that was the turning point. Sam Schneider, he is. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that real quick. That was the biggest thing early on, was K-Pac could not snap the ball and cleanly. They dropped the ball on the first snap. The second snap, they snapped it. The ball actually went forward down the field about 8 yards, and the secondary of Kingston just jumped on it, and that's how they were able to force the fumble. And they had already scored a touchdown. I said, oh no, this could get out of hand and get ugly quick. And I thought Kingston was going to roll after that, but K-Pac clamped down after that. But then they decided to go to that wildcat formation with Schneider, and that really absolutely changed the look of this team.
So Sam Schneider, 25 carries, 147 yards, and a touchdown. Peyton Frankowiak, the second leading rusher, but quite low, 7 carries, 29 yards total. Receiving, that was the key. You take that passing game away. Although K-Pac's not, they do have some passing game. We're limited in this game, and it was just down to the rushing and the turnovers. But, Kingston Cardinals, once again, putting up the yards. They utilize all their players once again. They're that type of team. Colin Corliss, 151 yards, 13 carries, and a touchdown. You got Nick Cummings, fantastic player. They both complement each other in the backfield. 16 carries, 127 yards, and a touchdown. Nick Grail, the senior, getting his due. 8 carries, 74 yards. He did all the hard work. He got rewarded with a touchdown. And Tanner James, I like how they kept him healthy, but only used him in certain situations. I think that was a really great thing this season. He stayed healthy throughout the season. 11 carries, 56 yards rushing, and a touchdown on the ground for the Kingston Cardinals. It seems like this was the game that finally, in the last couple of games here in the playoffs, that they've settled down and completed. This is the completion where they got to be ready up to this point because you're going up against a Martin team. Really good, 11-0. This is going to be on the road at a neutral site for Kingston, and this will be taking place at Chelsea High School this Saturday afternoon. Have you taken a look at Martin here?
Yeah, I have. They're good, to say the least.
They're good.
They have. I'm trying to do some comparison to see where you can compare, even where Kingston, they can look at it and say, okay, they held them to this, blah blah blah. Then play that ping pong theory, and it's really tough to even do that because they haven't really been held closely until last week when they played Climax Scott. Obviously, I can't really, put a lot of weight into this because we looked at that last year with Millington and Monroe St. Mary Catholic. We thought there's no way that Millington can hang with them, and then they come out and blank them. So you just never know until you get down and play the games. So it's tough to say what is going to happen, but Martin's obviously going to be a tough task. Kingston played them a couple years ago in the semifinals, lost a heartbreaker in that game by 8 points. So they're obviously going to want some revenge. I haven't looked a ton into Martin and to see what they have as far as personnel, but just by looking at their schedule, just by looking at who they are, once again, the Clippers, they look tough, and it looks like it's going to be a heck of a battle for Kingston coming up Saturday. And I think maybe the neutral site could help out a little bit, and just give kind of a toss up a little bit if there's anything that Kingston can pull in their favor. It's that, it's going to be a neutral site, and they're going to have hopefully just as many fans down there as Martin brings over from the west side of the state.
All right, and looking at their schedule, undefeated still, like as we mentioned. They beat Bridgman. That's a kind of an opponent that we've seen here in the Thumb area. I do believe it was Brown City that played them. They beat them back in week 1, 58-20. Lawrence, that's a name from the blast from the past there. They shut them out, but they're down seasons here for them. But pretty much every game, they pretty much ran ramshack throughout the season of all their opponents. They beat Grand Rapids Sacred Heart, but they beat them 48-26, one of the highest point totals there. And then the week before, to win the regional championship game over Climax Scots, 36-20. So that's the toughest game that Martin had throughout the whole season. So we know this. Last year they lost to Mendon 22-26. And that's a team that Deckerville beat last year. And the year before, they finally won that state title against Indian River Inland Lakes. In fact, that was back-to-back state championship games for Martin. Because you recall they beat Brown City in the state semifinal in 2022, and they beat Merrill 74-24. They win over Indian River Inland Lakes 30-26 in 2023. Like I said last year, they lose to Mendon by 4 points. So they're looking to get at least 3 state titles, hopefully, they can finish Kingston. Yeah. And Kingston's going to have their hands full here, but they're more than capable. They have enough players. They have enough player makers stand up to them. So.
Yeah, and if you're Kingston, the one thing you can really, I guess, hang your hat on is that you battled Deckerville for 4 quarters. You lost, by a touchdown to a very, very good Deckerville squad with Ian Flanagan. a team that I think could have won Division I or Division II state title this year before the Flanagan injury. And, they're looking like they're going to try to make another run at another state title without Flanagan. And I think if you're Kingston, obviously, if you play that type of ball that you did against Deckerville, obviously clean up the penalties and clean up the mess that you had in the first half. I think that's got to be a good feeling going into that game against a team like Martin, because I honestly think Deckerville could have been the top team in an eight-player once again this season in either division in the state. But that's one thing that's good about the conference is Kingston gets to see a Deckerville who is one of the top teams in the state in division or in eight-player, and kind of get you ready for these types of postseason games.
All right, it's Kingston up against Martin state semifinal. The other state semifinal in Division I of eight-player football, it's Blanchard, Montebella. They're going up against Norway, and that will be taking place in Traverse City. That's a Saturday afternoon game as well. Now, you're not going to be able to cover this game, right? There's some conflicts here with on-air situations.
Yeah, there was just a conversation we had. Michigan football is we run Michigan football. They kick off at noon. Yeah, noon against Northwestern. It's a game at Wrigley Field. So it's a moneymaker for us. It all comes down to money always. But they were able to, we were able to, chat about it. Kind of thought it would be, because I wanted to go down to Chelsea, and Landon wanted to stick around here. He's got something going on, whatever. So we just figured just calling updates from both. We'll put them in during the Michigan game. Then we'll obviously go on Facebook and Twitter and all that other good stuff and go live and update everybody as much as we can from those types of outlets. But next week, if Kingston does make it to the state finals, we will be on the air. And if Millington does win and goes on to the quarterfinals, we will be on the air. So that is the semifinals, right? Same thing, I guess.
Yeah. This week is regional. The semifinals. Next week is the state championship game. Not this. And
then in Millington.
Yeah.
Millington would be going on to the semis, right?
Yeah, it would be. Yeah. They win. But for Kingston, if they win, they're going to the state championship game. So, yeah.
Yeah, and they're pumped about the opportunity that they could be going to Marquette. So I think it really drives them, and I think Coach Eric Hartzell and a lot of those alum on the staff, they're looking to get out there and get Kingston on the map and get them to the state final game. It's going to be tough, obviously, but they're driven, and I hope they can go down there and put up their best fight and come home with a victory on Saturday.
All right, Scott Bolsby of the Tuscola County Advertiser. So stay up to date with him. He's got high school girls volleyball tonight and through the week. And, of course, I'll see you tomorrow on Wednesday for the sports meeting. So, yeah.
Yeah, big sports meeting. Excited. And real quick, Eddie, happy Veterans Day to you and to all the vets out there. Thank you so much. And we appreciate you guys, just not on this day, but every single day for sure.
All right. Thank you, Scott Bolsby. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for spending time with us here on Thumb Sports Line. And coming back, I'll be talking about Mike. And coming back, Mike Gallagher back in the studio. And coming back, my co-host, Mike Gallagher from the Sanilac County News returns as we both talk about our immediate coverage area team, the Deckerville Eagles, up next here on Thumb Sports Line on WMIC 95.3 FM and streaming online at SanilacBroadcasting.com. Liberty Lanes and Sandusky salutes the area athletes for their accomplishments and academic achievements. On your way to or from the game, come on into Liberty Lanes for a pizza or one of the many tasty entrees on the menu. Enjoy their Friday fish specials and come back for the Sunday brunch. Liberty Lanes also has banquet facilities available. For information or to place an order to go, call 810-648-9860. That's 810-648-9860. Liberty Lanes, your family dining and bowling center in West Park, Sandusky. Serving you for more than 40 years. You can find Liberty Lanes on Facebook.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Michigan, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
This is Denny King, the King of Cars, with More Motors Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram of Caro. It's time for you to get more for your money with More Motors of Caro, and that means big savings for you. Never pay more than sticker price when you shop More Motors of Caro. A lot of dealers, especially the city dealers, mark up their inventory and charge people an arm and a leg. They call it a market adjustment. There's a reason your friends and neighbors have been driving a Caro for more than 60 years. They can purchase the same Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram from More Motors of Caro for thousands less. At More Motors Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram of Caro, we value transparency, fair deals, and realistic trade offers. So come see me today, Denny King, the King of Cars, or any of our staff at More Motors of Caro to be treated fairly and know you're getting the best deal possible. Come see why your friends and neighbors have been driving to More Motors of Caro.
And welcome back to Thumb Sports Line on WMIC 95.3 FM. We have finally gotten to the end here to talk about our immediate coverage area team.
The moment we've all been waiting for, Eddie.
That's right. I am Eddie Theory. That is Mike Gallagher. And our immediate coverage area team, our final one for our immediate coverage area is the Deckerville Eagles. And they took on Britton Deerfield. A long drive for me. I took I-94, and then I came up 23 when I went to see the Edmund Fitzgerald Memorial. I didn't care. I was hoping, hey, let's try to keep it close. We can get a win. That'd be great. I felt pretty good based on what they did against Morris to stop that dynamic offense the week before. But this was a big running offense from Britton Deerfield Patriots. They got a brand new artificial turf field when we showed up there.
Beautiful
the weather
field.
was just perfect football weather. They had play clocks on either side. Beautiful field. Great hosts. A shout-out to Raul, who was the announcer, fellow Marine. Happy Vets Day to you, too, as well. Jeremy Burgess came. I had some good karma there with him. I had a decent drive. Beautiful country. Part of the, I guess, country farmland you can see surrounded as a unique way to get to Britton Deerfield, too.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot. First of all, it was a beautiful little town. It reminded me a lot of when we made the trip over to Martin a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Long drive, but it was well worth it because the Deckerville Eagles came away with a win, Eddie.
I did not see this coming.
Really?
I really didn't see it. I mean, I didn't know who to pick, but I'm gonna feel that the way the Deckerville's been playing, and under a little bit minorly underhanded, they're behind their lone real true back is Brandon Salowitz. They do have Mark Donker back there, Donker.
Yep.
A couple other running backs. And then you have a freshman quarterback for the Deckerville Eagles running the pass, and they're letting them pass.
I think, yeah. Eddie,
and then the receivers are helping them out. You know, there were some moments we'll talk about in this game where I wasn't happy with a play call series, and I'm sure Bill Brown would like to take that back maybe.
Okay.
But the fact is, Deckerville defense showed up. The defense has been the stronghold of this team, sometimes outsized, but defensively they're quick, and that's what it is. Speed on offense, speed on defense is going to help you win games, and they were outsized against this Britton Deerfield team, I felt.
Every week, Eddie.
Power
every
running,
week.
over 4,500-plus yards of rushing, 500-plus yards passing only. They had 4 or 5 different rushers that we had talked about in the preview, but they got into some fourth and down situations, turnover on downs, and that opened the gates here for Deckerville, who got the actually had to kick it off first, I believe.
Yep.
Britton Deerfield was stopped in fourth down situation, turnover on downs, and then Deckerville scores in their first possession.
Yep.
And then they win 28-8.
Yeah. I think I'm not going to agree with you that this was unexpected.
Okay.
I will say the final score, maybe.
Right.
Because Deckerville, they have a shot against anybody. They've proven that. They've beaten Morris. They've beaten Britton Deerfield now.
Yep.
But Britton Deerfield was a state championship caliber team, and you beat them by 20 points. And I think that was the most surprising thing about the win. Obviously, I thought Deckerville had a chance. I picked Deckerville to win. I'm never going to pick Deckerville to lose until we're done doing Sportsline 25 years from now.
Okay.
But, you know, this was a good Britton Deerfield team, Eddie. And I think the biggest surprise for me was that Britton Deerfield didn't go away from what it was successful with. And obviously that makes sense. You know, it got them to where they were at this point in the season. They were a power run offense, run-heavy offense. but that's exactly what Deckerville's defense is fantastic at stopping. When you looked at the Morris game from last week, when Morris was finally able to move the ball, it was through the air, and Britton Deerfield just stuck with what worked for them, and Deckerville, that worked out perfectly for Deckerville's defense. And, Britton Deerfield's offense, I think the word I would use is unique, because it was kind of a straight T offense, but it was, I don't know if you could see from the booth, Eddie, but there would be the quarterback, and then there would be either one running back or two running backs next to him, and they would all have their hands out, and the center would snap it to any of those three or two backs.
Kind of like what a single wing offense is with 11-player football. You don't know who the ball is going to. So,
but it didn't bother Deckerville. It didn't bother Deckerville that the offensive line was humongous for Britton Deerfield. There was a couple plays in the first half, well, more so the first quarter, where Britton Deerfield would get stood up at the line, and then they would just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And, it got them a couple of first downs. But Deckerville's defense, man, I don't know what else we can say about them. 8 points and, really they had a great goal line stand late in the game. But outside of that touchdown drive and that goal line stand, not a whole lot of scoring opportunities for Britton Deerfield. It was 28-8, and they were lucky to get those 8 points.
So, looking at Deckerville, the visiting team, first touchdown, 25-yard touchdown for Brandon Salowitz, and that was just on his third carry of the game. We had then Deckerville getting an 8-yard touchdown from Brandon Salowitz. We had a 14-yard touchdown for Brandon Salowitz. He had 3 of them in this game. 40-yard TD pass from Cooper Brown, throwing to Jesse Kabashki for a 40-yard TD on offense.
And that was such a great throw and catch, because it was a little bit of a comeback route. And Kubaki, he completely ditched his defensive back. As long as he was going to catch that ball, he was going to score, because his defensive back, the move that he used on him got him completely open, and Cooper threw it. It was a design to kind of throw it underthrow it so he could come back to the ball, and it just worked out perfectly. Just a great play.
So Deckerville, just 3 of 7, as I said, 65 yards total passing.
That's all you need.
41 carries, 174 yards overall, according to the Deckerville stats. Now let's look at the Fury stats.
Okay.
All right. Can we do that? I had total 182 yards rushing for Brandon Salowitz. That's what I had.
Okay.
And everybody else, Cooper Brown had 3 yards, but he ended up taking a knee.
Right.
3 straight times.
Right.
He had -6 yards.
His stat line looks a little bit better if he doesn't take those victory formations.
The only other back that got a carry was Parker Perez, and that was later in the late in the game when the game was done.
Yep.
Kabashki had all 65 yards receiving.
Yep.
So again, Deckerville was also working with short field because of the turnover on downs against Britton Deerfield.
Well, and it was right off the bat, too, Eddie. The first 2 possessions for Britton Deerfield, and Deckerville did get a little bit of help just because of the fact that on both of the first 4th downs, it was a bad snap by Britton Deerfield.
Yeah.
The only thing they could do was fall on the ball. But you have to give the Deckerville defense for even putting them in that situation where, you're on a 4th and long situation, and you're worried about that snap because you're like, okay, I got to get some big yards here. On the game.
So Deckerville defense held Britton Deerfield in the first half, 83 yards rushing, 34 yards passing.
On the game, Eddie,
yeah.
Britton Deerfield was 1 of 8 on 3rd down, and they were only 2 of 7 on 4th down. The Deckerville defense, it was fantastic. And again, an undersized Deckerville defense. A Deckerville, Britton Deerfield, we talked about it last week, massive offensive line. But this Deckerville defense, and it's Coach Dan Brown and it's Coach Steve Blashill, they're both doing a fantastic job. And I talked to Bill Brown about it over the weekend. Obviously, it starts with Brandon Salowitz. But it only works if you have those 2 edge rushers in Logan Shanks and Trenton Park. And, they don't always get the glory because their job isn't to go make tackles, and it isn't to go sack the quarterback. Now, they do get tackles, and they do, sack the quarterback, but their job is to set that edge. And if you can set that edge and force the other team's quarterback to run up the middle or force the running back to run up the middle, if you are able to do that, you have Brandon Solowitz and Evan Benji waiting there, and those two are going to clean up 99% of the tackles there. And then, Jesse Kubacki as well. He started the season, last year, he wasn't even a starter until the postseason when Logan Martin got injured. This year, and obviously he made some big plays last year. This year, he starts at cornerback. Flanagan gets injured. Kubacki has to move over to the safety position. Eddie, I don't know if you noticed this. There was 2 sophomores starting at cornerback for Deckerville this past Saturday.
Yes.
That's insane.
Well, one of them got brought up. Danny Kenny got brought up.
Yep.
And,
Braylon McClellan being the other.
Made some key stops in this game.
They both did.
Yeah.
Danny Kenny had 15, 16 tackles last week. And, a lot of that credit goes to Jesse Kubacki.
Yeah.
In that middle, he's able to direct those players. He's able to help lead those players. And really, you talk about Evan Benji. He was a starting nose guard last year. He was an all-conference nose guard last year, but they needed a linebacker to pair with Brandon Solowitz, and it's just a perfect combination. There's so much you can say about this Deckerville defense.
Now, Britton Deerfield did wake up with some offense in the third quarter right off the bat in the first series of offense. Number 2, Trevor Karpinski, got a 24-yard TD run and 2-point run good by Caden Kabaki, the true quarterback on this Britton Deerfield Patriot team. They came right out, started passing short, quick passes, kind of like a West Coast offense style with the passing there on the run. But, they knew they had to go back to the run. But they started passing a little bit more there in the second half. But Deckerville was still able to make those key stops in secondary.
Yes.
That can only last so long before they make the adjustment and pick it up there. So.
Right. Well, in Kubacki, he had 2 interceptions. One was on the final drive of the first half.
Big one.
And the second one on the final possession for Britton Deerfield at the end of the game. It was essentially over, but just putting an exclamation point on that victory. Jesse Kubacki having a huge season, Evan Benji, huge season, and nice to see them. Obviously it starts with Solowitz, but that defense, it's a team effort.
Yeah. So some of my Twitters apparently didn't go out because the signal will drop real quick and come back up.
Okay.
So there might be some saving my draft here, but it was 7-0 at the end of the first quarter. That was due to the 25-yard TD. The second quarter, before just 11 seconds left on the clock, that's when they got the ball back again, the turnover and downs.
Yep.
Deckerville, Brandon Solowitz, 8-yard TD run, and the PAT kick, good by Mark Donker. Good job by him. 21-0 in the second quarter. That's where it was at the half. 21-0, Deckerville leading. That's a nice, comfortable lead to have there. But then they get a score after a nice long drive, grinding that clock out with just 5 minutes left in the third quarter. Brandon Solowitz, 14-yard TD run. Again, the PAT kick good by Mark Donker, 28-0. When you're able to grind that clock out, despite them, Britton Deerfield come back right out, scores a touchdown quick, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then Deckerville gets the ball back. Guess what? They're grinding the clock out.
They had it for most of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, end of the third quarter, 28-8. And that was it right there. They just kind of take the ball away. They did have to punt.
They did.
Because there was a series of offense in the second. I did not like this. 3 straight incomplete passes. Stick to the run, man. Yeah. There was 3 straight incomplete passes by Deckerville in this game. I didn't like that series. They ended up having to punt, by the way.
Okay.
So,
but that wasn't the fourth quarter drive. That wasn't the last drive. No.
That wasn't in the fourth quarter. But there was a series where I just didn't like that.
Okay.
And, Cooper, give credit, where credit. He did, after that 3 incomplete passes, they're kind of out of reach of the receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he was playing a little bit too safe, keeping it away from the defender. But then right after that, he still went to the pass later on.
Right.
Got that 40-yard touchdown.
Right.
So I like the adjustment. Just incredible defense, but offense, ground and pound, grind that clock out, and that's what Deckerville really did successfully. Not only that, but defensively stopping these big players for Britton Deerfield.
Well, and I got a couple of things I'd like to say about the Deckerville offense. First of all, when we looked at the Morris game last week, Coach Bill Brown had mentioned, they maybe got a little bit too comfortable in the second half. They got a little bit too complacent. But you did not see Deckerville overcorrect. because that's the last thing you need to do is overcorrect. Deckerville stuck to what works for them, and in the second half, even when Britton Deerfield got that score, it was still a situation where we're going to keep grinding clock. We're not going to get away from what makes us successful. And then with Cooper Brown, I mean, what more can you say about this kid? I mean, first of all, we saw against Morris the touchdown right at the end of the first half, which proved to be a humongous score.
Yeah.
Was what, 4 seconds left?
Mm-hmm.
Putting together that drive right before the half. He does it again against Britton Deerfield. These are 2 state championship caliber teams, and he's running a hurry up. Now, I believe they did have a timeout for the Britton Deerfield one. Against Morris, they did not have a timeout on that drive.
Yeah.
They did have one for Britton Deerfield, but the crazy thing so really the first touchdown run by Solowitz as well, but the one right before the half, Cooper Brown's your lead blocker. He's pitching it to Solowitz, and then he's running lead blocker, and, he's setting up a huge touchdown by delivering a great block. And, Cooper Brown, they don't need him to do much. And he's doing a fantastic job. He's not turning the ball over. He's handling the ball. Bill Brown said, he made about 4 or 5 audible calls that picked up first downs for Deckerville on Saturday. He's only going to keep getting better, and just fantastic. But, it all starts, again, with Brandon Solowitz.
Yeah.
When you're going to have 36 carries, 168 yards, 3 touchdowns, that helps a freshman quarterback. And when you have a senior receiver like Jesse Kubacki who can make plays, that's going to help a freshman quarterback.
All right, so that's the official yards there. Unofficially for Britton Deerfield, they had 225. I had 200 yards total rushing. No player went over 100.
That's crazy.
Leading rusher was Liam Rowe, and that came later in the second half. 73 yards for Trevor Karpinski. He had the lone touchdown with that 26-yard TD. They limit to 44 yards passing. They had 52. I had 44. There was 2 interceptions, turnovers for Britton Deerfield. So total offense limited to 244 yards. According to my records, I had 200 rushing. That was probably one of the lowest rushing outputs. They had the other lowest rushing was against Mendon, who they lost to.
Yep.
Still playing.
Right.
For Britton Deerfield. So great win for Deckerville Eagles. Now they're going up against an old rival, the Portland St. Patrick Shamrocks, who may have the luck of the Irish, but it's November.
Yeah.
It's November.
Yeah.
And Deckerville Eagles have some good success against Portland St. Patrick. They are rivals. They played against each other a lot in the past. So.
Well, and I think the key thing for this game is, Eddie, Portland St. Patrick is another run-heavy team.
Yes.
And that is what Deckerville's defense is good at stopping. It's hard to run against the Deckerville defense. If Portland St. Patrick wants to stick with what works for them, I think it falls in favor of the Deckerville Eagles because defensively, you're not going to be able to run the ball against Deckerville. And I know Portland St. Patrick, at this point, they're a fantastic team. They're a state semifinal team. But Deckerville's defense has proved against Morris and against Britton Deerfield now that it is going to be hard to run against this defense. So if Portland St. Patrick sticks with what they're good at, I think it favors Deckerville. If Portland goes to the air a little bit more, I think that's your key to success if you're Portland St. Patrick. However, Jesse Kubacki and those 2 sophomore corners have proven that you can't just throw on Deckerville either.
Yeah, I think they're kind of similar teams, actually, offensively.
Yeah.
632 yards rushing. 632 yards. This is for our copycat media out there. Here we go. Here's your show prep.
Oh, come on.
632 yards passing for Portland St. Patrick. They had 13 TDs out there. No interceptions. Passing.
That sounds exactly like a Deckerville football stat line.
Rushing, 343 carries, 3,102 yards. They have 51 touchdowns on the ground. So similar offensive style teams. I think I remember St. Patrick running the spread back in the past as well. Don't know what this look to the team is. I know they're still under the same long-time head coach there.
Of course.
So both coaches, Bill Brown coaching a little bit longer.
Just a little bit, yeah.
But, this is, I think, still going to be a tough game. This is going to be at a neutral site. Portland St. Patrick, last year, they did not make it through the regional, but they went up against Morse.
Yep.
But they lost 22-28 this year. Undefeated.
undefeated, and they beat Mendon.
They beat Morris earlier in week 2, 14-7. Mendon, they beat 51-22 in the regional championship game themselves. So here we are, state semifinal, Division II this time for the Deckerville Eagles.
Eddie, last thing I got for you.
And they beat Marion 62-16 in the first round of playoffs.
Last thing I got for you. Yeah. How impressive is it that we have 2 Big Thumb Conference Blue Division opponents playing in state semifinals? I mean, that's just fantastic.
That's Division I for Kingston Cardinals and now Deckerville Eagles. Now, they are defending state champions, but this time they dropped to Division II. Can they get through this Portland St. Patrick team?
They sure can.
You think so?
They sure can.
Okay.
I'm not doubting them against anybody, Eddie.
Okay.
They've beaten, just based off of what they have done so far, you cannot count Deckerville out in any game that's left on the schedule.
Yeah, they got a young team here. They got a junior quarterback. His name is Jared Schur, and I'm sure.
Are you, though? Are you actually?
I am, yes. He is, in 10 games played, he is 37-55 and 10 touchdown passes. So he is the true quarterback here for the Portland St. Patrick team. Then we have a senior. His last name is Leonard. His first name is Brady Leonard. He is a senior, and he is the leading rusher with 1,091 yards. They have another 1-2 punch in the backfield, and that is Hudson King. He has rushed so far for the season on the ground 927 yards. Now he has 15 touchdowns, while Leonard has 14 touchdowns. To complement that, they do have Schur, the running back. He only rushes 195 yards, but he has 10 touchdowns.
That's not bad.
Yeah. So those are your 3. The lead, and the third leading rusher is a junior. He has about 307 yards and 3 touchdowns. So they have more than capable backups, in this game. And they still have a couple others who are over 100 plus yards and some touchdowns. So, it's going to be a tough game. We'll really dive into the guts of this pregame when we cover the game on Sanilac Broadcasting, WBGV 92.5 FM. Really excited about this game, man.
I will see you in Mount Pleasant, Eddie.
All right, that's I think, did we do this justice?
I think that's all we got for you guys. If it's not enough, then you can give us a call and we'll do another show.
Here, I thought this segment would only be about 10, 11 minutes, but just like the Kingston segment with Scott Bolsby, 15 minutes, this one we hit 20-plus minutes.
Oh, my goodness.
It goes so fast.
Let's get out of here, Eddie.
Tune in for the game live this coming Saturday afternoon. Yeah, it's a Saturday afternoon game at a neutral site, Mount Pleasant High School. It is the Deckerville Eagles in the state semifinals in Division II up against Portland St. Patrick Shamrocks. Saturday afternoon on 92.5 WBGV. That's 92.5. You know what station? 92.5 WBGV and streaming online at SanLakeBroadcasting.com. Jeremy Burgess will be joining you for that game, and it will be streaming, as I said, online and on 92.5. Pre-game starts at 12:30 noon this coming Saturday. Tune in for high school football, Division II, 8-player football. The Deckerville Eagles up against the Portland St. Patrick Shamrocks. The winner moves on to the state championship game. And pretty excited about that because the other side of the bracket, Onekama, who beat Brown City, I believe. Beat Bay City All Saints earlier this season. They're in the state semifinal. They're playing at Marquette. They're going up against Felch North Dickinson.
Okay.
Tune in to that. 92.5 Deckerville up against Portland St. Patrick. Mike Gallagher, thank you. You got volleyball to cover.
Thank you, Eddie. Happy Veterans Day. Go Cardinals. Go Eagles. And rest in peace, James Welsh. Love you, buddy.
Yeah. Much love out there to the pet community and the Welch family. Thank you for tuning in to Thumb Sports Line on WBGV 92.5 FM for that game on Saturday. Deckerville against Portland St. Patrick here on WMIC 95.3 FM. Thumb Sports Line will be back next week, and you can stream this online in podcast replay form and all social media, but on Spotify you can find it online at SanLakeBroadcasting.com. Thank you, Mike Gallagher.
Thank you, Eddie Fury.
Thank you, fans, here on Thumb Sports Line.